Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Outer Rim Cantina. My name's Alan and today we finally got the trailer for The Mandalorian Season 2. And to my surprise, and probably the surprise of a lot of you guys, it actually didn't reveal really anything about the actual plot or story of Season 2 other than what was kind of already set up at the end of Season 1, where the Mandalorian is looking for Baby Yoda's home, his people, which in this case is, I think we know by now, is the Jedi instead of Baby Yoda's actual species, which I'm super happy about. I'm glad that we still aren't getting any information on that species, like where they came from, any of that kind of stuff, and that they're just focused on finding Jedi in this season, or season, I don't know, instead of finding his actual, species. I don't know, it just makes it so much better for me, I guess, that species will still be sacred, I guess, in a way. But other than that, we really didn't get anything new in the trailer other than seeing a few new locations. But instead of doing a normal trailer breakdown where I show you guys a scene and then tell you what I think about it and all that stuff, I'm not going to do that because I know there's going to be 1,001 of those in your sub feeds today, and I want to do something a bit different. I'm just going to talk about the stuff that I found really interesting about the trailer and the stuff that got me really excited for Season 2, starting off with the fact that Tatooine doesn't look like it's going to play a huge part in Season 2, because I was really bummed, actually, when we got the news that Season 2 would be going back to Tatooine, and we got those images of the Banthas and the Sand People and all that stuff, because, I mean, let's face it, Tatooine's kind of boring. There's nothing interesting going on Tatooine, and we've seen it a million times. Why does everybody want to go back to Tatooine? It's just so dumb. The only Star Wars story that has ever made Tatooine interesting for me has been the Old Republic MMO. Other than that, every other story where Tatooine is involved is usually boring. That's usually where the boring part of the story takes place, is on Tatooine. Nothing ever interesting goes on there. So I really hope that at the most, it's only, they're only on Tatooine for maybe one episode. The only redeeming factor of them going back to Tatooine for me would be if Cobb Vanth actually shows up, which is one of the rumored characters for Season 2, and one of the only characters that I would actually be happy if they showed up. Just because I feel like it would be a good character for Din to meet, and it would spawn some good conversation and some good plot points, about what it means to be a Mandalorian, what it means to wear the armor, because, Cobb Vanth has Boba Fett's original armor, and all that kind of stuff. And there's one scene in the trailer in particular where we see Din on a speeder bike going through some canyons, and it's very possible that he's heading to the settlement where Cobb Vanth actually is, and then that's when they meet. And if that's the case, then great, that would be awesome. I'd love to see the Boba Fett armor again, and also meet a character that originally came from a novel now on screen, and we're also getting something like that with the Star Wars Squadrons game, where we get to see Rey Sloane actually on screen in a visual type media instead of just a book. So if they can continue that trend with The Mandalorian Season 2 and bring Cobb Vanth from the pages of a book to the big screen, or small screen, however you want to look at it, then that'd be fantastic, and I absolutely cannot wait to see where that goes. Other than that, we get to see a couple new planets, one that looks, fairly dingy, a lot of the worlds that we saw in The Mandalorian Season 1, honestly. And actually in Star Wars Explains trailer breakdown, he brought up that it could possibly be Nar Shaddaa, although now that would be dope if it actually was. I would love to see Nar Shaddaa in some kind of visual media, or other than video games, which we've seen it in before. But also, everything we've seen of Nar Shaddaa in all the stories that we've gotten in the past have been, a city moon, basically Coruscant, but on a smaller scale. and the planet that Din and Baby Yoda are on, where they go to the fight club and see the Gamorreans duking it out in the ring with battle axes and stuff. It looks... First of all, there's like dust all over the ground, right? The ground is made of like dirt or something, and it just, it doesn't give that city planet type vibe that you get from all the other stories that have had Nar Shaddaa in it in the past. Now, granted, all of those stories are technically legends now, and we don't really know what a canon version of Nar Shaddaa would be, but if Korriban, or Morban, is anything to go by, then it's very likely if they did bring in one of those planets like Nar Shaddaa from Legends into canon, they wouldn't really change anything about the planet itself. Because, I mean, like I said, take Korriban for example. In Legends, it's a desert planet with a bunch of big Sith monuments, you know, the birthplace of the original Sith and all that stuff. And then when we see it in the Clone Wars Season 6, it's called Morban, but it's still a desert planet, still has all of those big Sith temples, and it looks the same as we've seen before, so the only thing that changed was the name, because for whatever reason George Lucas didn't like the name Korriban and changed it to Morban. So it's possible that they could bring in Nar Shaddaa and just change it up a little bit, which, you know, granted would still be cool. It would always be cool to see a planet like Nar Shaddaa, or a moon like Nar Shaddaa, or it's even possible that that planet could be like Hutta or something. I don't know, we'll just have to wait and see, given that there's the Gamorreans and everything, it's kind of lawless a little bit, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what that planet is actually called, if they actually name drop the planet in the season. And yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But then, of course, we get shots of them going back to Navarro, we get to see Greef Karga and Cara Dune again, and from just judging from the single shot that they show up in, it looks like Navarro is improving compared to Season 1, because again, as Star Wars Explained pointed out in his breakdown video, everything is a bit brighter, there's more colors in what little of the town we actually see. Greef Karga, you know, has a new costume, looks like he's moving up in the world, he's looking all fancy, and it just looks like Navarro's doing a lot better. But we also get to see that there is still at least somewhat of an Imperial presence on Navarro, just maybe not in that town that they were in Season 1, because we get to see those special TIE fighters from Season 1, and then there's also a shot of stormtroopers running through some kind of Imperial base, and then there is one of the most epic shots from the entire trailer, which was a bunch of scout troopers chasing Din on a speeder bike, and they all drop off a cliff down below, where you can see a little bit of a lava river down there, which again also indicates that they would still be on Navarro at for that scene. So yeah, I guess we're going back to Navarro, but again, I hope that that's only like a one episode thing, because I really hope this season still focuses on giving us new, rather than just going back to places that we've seen before, because as I said in the video I made on The Mandalorian Season 2 a few weeks ago, what I'm most scared for is that they're going to go away from having all of this new stuff to get new people into Star Wars and start showing us a bunch of familiar places, familiar characters, familiar this, that, and the other, that like we, as big Star Wars fans, would know, but everybody that enjoyed Season 1 might not know, and they might be turned off by the fact that they would have to go consume all this ancillary media just to understand what's happening in this season of The Mandalorian. So again, I hope that like Tatooine and Navarro are only like one episode planets, and the rest of the season focuses on new stuff. Those are really the only complaints that I have about the trailer and the season so far, honestly, because everything else in the trailer was fantastic. We get to see Din and Baby Yoda on a boat. Yes, like an actual boat, floating on water boat. And I don't know why I get so excited by this, but it's just like, have we ever really seen like an actual boat a floating boat on water in Star Wars? I don't know, I don't think so, at least I can't remember one right offhand, so just the fact that we finally get to see that is just fantastic. I absolutely love it. I can't wait to see that whole scene play out, and especially since it looks like that boat, like the crew of the boat is all Quarrens, and also the dock crew that we get to see before is also mostly Quarren as well. So, and it looks like they're on mostly a water world. I doubt it's Mon Cala, but it could be, I guess, but again, probably not. It's probably a new planet, which I really hope so, but also in that same scene where we get to see all the Quarrens in the dock right before they go on the boat, we also see what appears to be Sasha Banks as her mysterious new character that we know absolutely nothing about, and given just based on the timing of the voiceover, where the armorer, the conversation between the armorer and Din from season 1 is playing, where they're talking about, you know, how eons ago Mandalore the Great fought wars against mysterious sorcerers known as the Jedi, and they're talking about finding Baby Yoda's home, and when they say fought against the Jedi, then it cuts to Sasha Banks' character just standing there in a black cloak with her hood up, and then she disappears in the next frame, and it makes me speculate that she could possibly be a new Jedi, which I would be totally down with, honestly, if they introduced a new Jedi character in this. Like, that would be fantastic. I would love that. But she could also be some kind of dark side character, or maybe not even a Force user at all. Maybe she's just some kind of Imperial agent that's tracking Din and Baby Yoda to try and capture the child again. Because as we know, the Empire still wants to get their hands on Baby Yoda and all of that stuff, so again, we'll just have to wait and see. But this also brings up the point of, we got to see none of the rumored characters that people have been talking about for months and months and months now. Absolutely not a single one of them, and I am so happy about that. I am so happy, because like I said in that video that I made a couple weeks ago, like, the biggest turnoff for me for this season would be if they bogged it down with a bunch of legacy characters that we've seen before, like Captain Rex, Boba Fett, Ahsoka, whatever. Like, the only characters that I would actually, like, legacy characters or legacy type characters that I would want to see in the season would be Cobb Vanth, which we just talked about, and also Bo-Katan. Other than that, I don't want any other characters that we've seen before showing up in the season. I want it to be all new stuff. And this new Sasha Banks character looks like it's going to be a brand new character indeed, and hopefully not just like Sabine Wren or something dumb like that. But also, speaking of rumors, there was one a few weeks back around the time I made my first video on The Mandalorian Season 2 that said that Lucasfilm was doing reshoots of the trailer to include a fight scene with Ahsoka, and, like, dude, if you believe that, you're honestly just dumb. If you believe something as wild and outlandish as that, like, you're just an idiot and you deserve to be disappointed, honestly, because there was no way in hell that was ever going to be accurate, and it wasn't. We got to see none of that in this trailer, which, for the 100th time, thank God I am so happy about. But I guess one of the last things that I want to talk about from the trailer was the fact that we get to see X-Wings again, and the New Republic have some sort of involvement with Din and Baby Yoda. Like, for instance, the trailer opens up with the Razor Crest being damaged, one engine kind of blown up, the hangar door wide open as it's floating through space towards some mysterious planet. Then we also get to see a shot of the Razor Crest being followed by two X-Wings, and they enter their, raise their S-foils into attack position, and then it cuts to another scene, and then cuts back a little while later to a scene of the Razor Crest zooming through a bunch of clouds on some planet, and then we get to see the two X-Wings also following kind of behind. So it opens up the possibility of, is the New Republic trying to get their hands on Baby Yoda as well as the Empire, and they're trying to chase down Din to get their hands on him? Or is the New Republic working with Din in order to protect the child, in order to find remnants of the Jedi and to give Baby Yoda a home? That's just something we'll have to wait and see. Both of those possibilities are interesting. Seeing the New Republic attack Din and try and take the child, or seeing the New Republic try and help Din and the child, you know, I don't really know, because it's the New Republic. From what we know about the New Republic at this point, they could honestly go either way. Because the New Republic was not some big, huge utopia that it was meant to be when the rebellion was still fighting the Empire, right? So it'll be interesting to see how those scenes play out and how they show up in the actual show. But other than that, those are really the only things that stood out to me in the trailer and got me super hyped for Season 2. As always, though, I would love to know what you think down in the comments. Your favorite part of the trailer? Are you excited for Season 2? What do you hope happens in Season 2? All that kind of stuff. But if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you dropped a like, as those really do help a small channel like this, and consider subscribing if you want to see more Outer Rim Cantina content in your sub feeds every week. That's all the time I've got for today. I hope to see you back here in the cantina next time for another Star Wars video. Until then, may the Force be with you.